Okay, today we're going to be going over your Unit 2 review, the review guide. Remember, with this video you are allowed to pause it, you can rewind it, you can fast forward it. This is yours to use to help you work through the Unit 2 test review. Looking at number 1, it says in the figure PQ and RS are parallel. What is the measure of angle 1? So angle 1 is down here. Anytime we have parallel lines, we want to label our A's and B's. So we have A, B, A, B, A, B, A, and B. Now, what I know about angle B for this problem is that it equals 70. So anywhere there is a letter B, I can fill that in with 70. But that doesn't help me with angle A. And that's what we need. Angle A is the angle 1 I'm looking for. So I think back to my rules. I know A is allowed to equal A, B is allowed to equal B, or A plus B is equal to 180. In this problem, I have both an A that I'm looking for and a B that I know. So I'm going to use A plus B equals 180. So if I fill that in, A plus B is 70 equals 180. I subtract 70 and I get A to equal 110. So anywhere there's an A, I could fill in 110, which gives me my answer, because angle 1 is A, and A now equals 110. Okay, problem number 2. In the figure PQ is, remember this is the symbol for parallel to RS. So I'm going to fill in my A's and B's. A, B. Remember, the letters are not allowed to be right next to each other. Okay, so for this one, I know B equals 2x minus 1 and B equals 103. So if I look back to my rules that I wrote down in problem number 1, I have two B's. So I can use B equals B. So if I do B equals B, I have 2x minus 1 is equal to 103. Add 1. So we get 2x to equal 104. Divide by 2. And we get x to equal 52. And that's all we had to solve for, because that's what the question was asking us. What is the value of x? Okay, problem number 3 is a chart. And this is our vocab with our angles. Remember, in your packet, we started highlighting our box. So here are my lines. I'm going to highlight them. And we also drew our two circles to make our groups. So here's one circle. All right, this is our top group. And bottom circle for the bottom group. And because we are still dealing with parallel lines, I am going to label my A's and B's. So starting at the top, I'm going to go A and then B. and fill those in. All right, the two lines that I'm working with, the two angles. I have this x plus 18 and I have this 2x. Now both of these angles are located inside my box. So that means inside they're going to be some sort of an interior. Interior means inside. So then you have to ask yourself, are they alternates? Are they on different sides of my diagonal line? Or are they on the same side? These two are on different sides, so my answer would be alternate interior. The next column is asking us to solve for x. So the highlighted angles, they are both b's. So I can say b equals b. So x plus 18 is equal to 2x. Subtract my x, and I get x to equal 18. Then the final column is asking us to find the measure of angle 1. Angle 1 is up here at the top, and that's a letter A. So if angle 1 equals A, and I don't know anything else about A, I'm going to have to use one of the B's, and I'll just use the x plus 18 because that's right next to it. And then I have my rule of A plus B equals 180. A is what I'm looking for, plus B is x plus 18 equals 180. Well, in the previous column, I figured out what x was. So I have A plus x is now 18, and then plus 18 from our problem. All of that equals 180. Combine my like terms. So now I have A plus 36 equals 180. If I subtract my 36, I get A, which is angle 1, to equal 144. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy down my box. There we go. And we have the circles. And then I'm going to label my A's and B's. So A and B. Okay, the two angles I'm looking for, I have one inside my box, and I have one outside my box. And when one is inside, one is outside, that means they are corresponding. In order for them to be exterior, both have to be outside. And in order for them to be interior, both have to be inside. Okay, now when I'm solving, it looks like both of my highlighted angles are A. So I can use A equals A. Set them equal. 4x plus 3 equals 7x minus 12. subtract 4x. So I get 3 to equal 3x minus 12. Add 12. 15 equals 3x. And finally divide by 3. So we get x to equal 5. And finally, we have to find the measure of angle 1. Angle 1 is a letter B. And we don't know anything else about the B angles, but we do know the angle A equals 4x plus 3. So I can use my A plus B equals 180. So I know A is 4x plus 3, and I'm looking for B. All that still equals 180. And I do know something about the x, because I just found that. So I still have my 4. I can substitute 5 in for x, plus 3 plus 13 equals 180. Oh, sorry, not 13, that's a B. Can't read my writing. That was angle B. Okay, now I can do all the numbers. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Plus B equals 180. So if we subtract 23, we get B to equal 157. Okay, and finally, we have the third one. So here I'm going to make my box again. My 2 parallel lines. And you can make the circles. So I have this circle, and I have this circle, and labeling my A's and B's. So A and B, A and B, A and B, A and B. These 2 angles that I'm looking for are outside my box, so that means they're going to be one of the exteriors. Are they on the same side of my black line? Yes, they are. So my answer here is same side, exterior. Now to solve for x, I know one is an A and one is a B. So I can say A plus B equals 180. A is 4x plus 9 plus B is 5x, still equals 180. 4x plus 5x is 9x plus 9 equals 180. Subtract the 9. 9x equals 171. Divide by 9. X equals 19. And to solve for angle 1. So angle 1 is A, and we know A is 4x plus 9. So we're going to take our 4x plus 9, substitute in x, so we get 4 times 19 plus 9. 4 times 19 plus 9, that gives me 85. Okay, on to the next page. Remember, you can always pause, rewind, or fast forward through this. Okay, line L intersects W, X, Y, and Z, forming angles with measures as indicated on the drawing. Which lines are parallel? In order to figure out parallel lines, we have to figure out the numbers in each section. So at the top, if I know that is 110, across from that will also be 110 because of vertical angles. And then the ones right next to it are my linear pair, which equal 180. So I can take that 180, subtract what I know, and I get 70. Okay, in the next section, we have 65. So I know across from that is also 65. To find the one next to it, we take the 180, subtract 65, we get 115. Then in the next section, I have 75, which means across from that is also 75. To find the missing angle, we're going to take 180, subtract what we know, which gives us 105. And across from that is also 105. And finally at the end, I have 70. So across from that is also 70. Take the 180, subtract what you know, and you get 110. Now, looking at these lines, the only two that have the same numbers are W and Z. So we can cross out Y and we can cross out X. But in order for W and Z to be parallel, we need to make sure the numbers are in the correct order. So if I look at W, we go from 110 to 70 to 110 to 70, back to 110. Is Z in the same order? 110 to 70 to 110 to 70, back to 110. So they are in the same order, they are the same numbers, so we can say W is parallel to Z. Okay, 5 and 6. Determine if A and B are parallel, perpendicular, or neither, and explain your answer. So these are my lines, and remember y equals mx plus b, my slope-intercept, and all I care about is the letter m, because the letter m tells me my slope. So for number 5, y is already by itself, so all I can do is look at the m. I have a 3 and then a negative 1/3. If these numbers were the same, the lines would be parallel. If they were opposite reciprocals, they would be perpendicular. Now, these lines are not the same. The slope is not the same, so they're not parallel. Let's see if they are opposite reciprocals. So one is positive, one is negative. We have the opposite. Reciprocals would be if I were to flip the numbers. So right now this is 3/1. If I flip them, I'd get 1/3. So I also have the reciprocal. So these two lines are perpendicular. Number 6, if we're still looking at y equals mx plus b, we need y by itself. So for a, I'm going to divide everybody by 4. And I get y equals, again, use your calculator, use Desmos, simplify the fraction. Becomes negative 3 over 2x plus 9 over 4 stays 9 over 4. It cannot be simplified. Please either use the yellow calculator or Desmos for this. Part B, divide by 12. We get y equals, this simplifies to negative 1/3 minus 1/4. Okay, so let's see. If we look at the numbers now, in front of x, a negative 3 over 2 and a negative 1 over 3. If they were the same, they would be parallel. If they are opposite reciprocals, they are perpendicular. All right, so these two lines, the red circles are not the same. Opposite, let's check. Ooh, this one's negative and this one's negative. So it's not opposite, so it can't be perpendicular. So these are neither. Okay, let's look down at the graphs. Remember, slope and graphs, you always have your rise over your run. So for 7, starting on the left, if we count our rise over our run from A to B, we go up 1, 2, 3. So for A, B, I went up 3, and then I went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for QR, the one I need to graph, I need it to be perpendicular. Perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. So if AB was positive, QR has to be negative. Reciprocal, flip your numbers, 10 over 3. So starting at Q, I'm going to go down 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then over 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's point R. Okay, number 8. If I look at the slope of AB, that is a straight up and down line, which is an undefined slope. I need QR for this one to be parallel. Parallel means the same. So it also has to be undefined, meaning it also has to be straight up and down. So you can plot any of these points that make a straight up and down line through Q. All right, if we flip the page. Number 9, which angles must be congruent to make the floors of the building, to make sure the floors of the building are parallel? So in order to figure this out, you need a number on each line. And they have to be in the same place. So if we look, we have 1, we have 2, we have 4. But none of my circles hit line N, so it can't be that. B says 1, 3, and 6, okay? 1, 3, 6. I have a circle on line L, a circle on M, a circle on N, but the circles are not in the same place. I have 2 outside, 1 inside. So it can't be that. So let's check C. We have 7, 9, 11. One circle on L, one circle on M, one circle on N. They're all on the same side. C is my answer. Okay. Find out which lines are parallel, if any. This is the last thing we did last class, where we took our 4 highlighters, and the 4 highlighters are on the bookshelf in the classroom. So I'm going to start. I'm going to highlight each one a different color. And then I'm going to label all of my A's and B's. So A and B. Making sure I alternate. Okay, now let's look at this. Angle 1, which is a letter A, and angle 10, which is a letter B. Remember, this symbol means congruent, means they should be equal. And that's not true. So we can stop there and say that my answer is none. None of the lines are parallel. So let's look at B, 14 and 15. So 14 is a B, 15 is an A. Same thing, B does not equal A, so none. Okay, let's look at C4, which is a B, 7, which is A. B plus A does equal 180, so we can keep going. So angle 4 touches line R and line S. Angle 7 touches line R and line T. R's repeat, so we have S is parallel to T. Angle 1, A, so move on letter D. Angle 1 is A. Angle 11, also A. A's don't add to 180, so we can stop there and say none. Okay, letter E, we have angle 1, which is an A. Angle 5, which is also an A. Okay, A equals A. I can keep going. Angle 1 touches P and S. Angle 5 touches R and S. S's repeat, so P is parallel to R. And finally, F2, which is a B. 6, which is a B. 2 touches P and S. 6 touches R and T. None of these can cancel, so remember my answer is none. We can only have 2 lines being parallel. Okay, number 11. Which diagram shows a pair of angles that proves C and D are parallel? So this is all I'm worried about. C and D are parallel. All right, A is bottom 120. That touches lines A and D. And then this one touches B and C. I can't cross anything out to get just C and D, so that doesn't work. B, top one touches A and C. bottom one touches B and D. Again, I can't cross anything out. That doesn't work. Next one, top one touches A and C. Over here touches B and C. I can cross out C. I'm left with A is parallel to B, but that doesn't answer my question. And finally, we have top one touching A and C, bottom one touching A and D. Cross the A's out. C is parallel to D. This is what I was looking for. So D is my answer. Okay, and number 12. So the figure represents parallel line segments. Okay, parallel lines, I'm just going to label my A's and B's. So here's A and B and A and B. And I don't have to label the other side. I'm going to write those A's and B's better so they're easier to see. So A, B, A, B. We need to find X and Y. Okay, the one thing I know is that everywhere there's a B, that's going to equal 89. So over here, I can say my Y is also equal to 89. And there's one of my answers. And I know X is A. But I know A plus B equals 180. So I can say X plus 89 equals 180. Then all that's left is to subtract 89. So we get X to equal 91. Okay, go to the last page. I'm just going to do 13 and 14 with you. The bottom is review. You can look back at Unit 1 for help, or you can check Schoology as well. Okay, 13. What must the measure of is what it should say, the angle marked X be in order for the table to be parallel to the bench? Okay, parallel. So I'm going to label my A's and B's. There's A and B, and then this would be another A. So can't have two A's next to each other, so we'll say B, A, and then up here is also B. And I know 92 is B, and I know X is A. So to solve, I would say A plus B equals 180, and I'll just substitute in. So X plus 92 equals 180. Subtract 92. We get X to equal 88, and that's it. That's all we had to find was X. And 14. What must the measure of the angle marked X, so all we're doing is trying to find X, be in order for the seat of the bench to be parallel to the ground? So let's label our A's and B's. A and B, A and B, A and B, A and B. Alright, so I know X is B and A is 55. So just like before, our relationship is A plus B equals 180. Fill in what you know. A is 55, B is X. Subtract 55. And we get X to equal 125. Again, the review part is from Unit 1, and this answer key is also on Schoology if you want to check your answers. So this is me going through the review with you. Remember, you can pause, you can rewind, and you can watch this video as many times as you need. So your test is next class, so please make sure you have this done And yeah, just reach out if you have any questions.